And it is true that Henry told me of. For I've often heard my mother say I came into the world with my legs forward. Had I not reason, think ye, to make haste and seek their ruin that usurped our right? Ere the midwife wondered and the women cried, "O Jesu, bless us, he is born with teeth." And so I was, which plainly signified that I should snarl and bite and play the dog. Then, since the heavens have shaped my body so, let hell make crooked my mind to answer it. I have no brother. I'm like no brother. Let this word love, which greybeards call divine, be resident in men like one another and not in me. I am myself alone. Clarence, beware. Thou keep'st me from the light, but I will split a pitchy day for thee. For I will buzz abroad such prophecies as Edward should be fearful of his life. And then, to purge his fear, I'll be thy death. King Henry and the prince, his son, are gone. Clarence, thy turn is next. And then the rest, counting myself but bad till I be best.
Sirs, be sudden in the execution. With all obdurate, do not hear him plead, for Clarence is well spoken and perhaps may move your hearts to pity, if you mark him.
Hear me, you wrangling pirates that fall out in sharing that you have pilled from me. Which of you trembles not that looks on me? If not that I am queen, you bow like subjects, yet that by you deposed, you quake like rebels. Ah, gentle villain, do not turn away.
Foul wrinkled witch, what makest thou in my sight?
But repetition of what thou hast marred, that will I make before I let thee go.
Wert thou not banished on pain of death?
I was, but I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here by my abode. A husband and a son thou owest me, and thou a kingdom, all of you allegiance. This sorrow that I have by right is yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine.
Curse my noble father laid on thee when thou didst crown his warlike brows with paper, and with thy scorns drewst rivers from his eyes, and then to dry them gavest the Duke a cloud steeped in the faultless blood of pretty Rutland. His curses then from bitterness of soul denounced against thee are all fallen upon thee. And God, not we, hath plagued thy bloody deed.
So just is God to right the innocent.
Oh, it was the foulest deed to slay that babe, and the most merciless that e'er was heard of.
Tyrants themselves wept when it was reported.
No man but prophesied revenge for it.
Northumberland, then present, wept to see it.
What? Were you snarling all before I came? Ready to catch each other by the throat? And turn you all your hatred now on me.
Have done thy charm, thou hateful withered hag.
And leave out thee. Stay, dog, for thou shalt hear me. If heaven have any grievous plague in store, exceeding those that I can wish upon thee, let them keep it till thy sins be ripe, and then hurl down their indignation on thee, the troubler of the poor world's peace.
The owl shrieked at thy birth, an evil sign. The night crow cried, aboding luckless time.
Art thou my son?
Aye, I thank God, my father, and thyself.
Then patiently hear my impatience.
Madam, I have a touch of your condition that cannot brook the accent of reproof.
Oh, let me speak.
Do then, but I'll not hear.
I will be mild and gentle in my word.
And brief, good mother, for I'm in haste.
Art thou so hasty? I have stayed for thee, God knows, in torment and in agony.
Came I not at last to comfort you?
No. By the holy rule thou know'st it well. Thou camest on earth to make the earth my hell. A grievous burden was thy birth to me. Tetchy and wayward was thy infancy. Thy school days frightful, desperate, wild, and furious. Thy prime of manhood daring, bold, and venturous. Thy age confirmed, proud, subtle, sly, and bloody, more mild but yet more harmful, kind in hatred.
If I be so disgracious in your eye, let me march on and not offend you, madam. Strike up the drum!
I prithee hear me speak.
You speak too bitter.
Hear me a word, or I shall never speak to thee again.
So,
either thou wilt die by God's just ordinance, ere from this war thou turn a conqueror, or I with grief and extreme age shall perish and never more behold thy face again. Therefore take with thee my most grievous curse, which in the day of battle tire thee more than all the complete armor that thou wearest. My prayers on the adverse party fight, and there the little souls of Edward's children whisper the spirits of thine enemies and promise them success and victory. Bloody thou art, bloody will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, and doth thy death attend.
So now prosperity begins to mellow and drop into the rotten mouth of death.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to slaughter. For my daughters, Richard, they shall be praying nuns, not weeping queens, and therefore level not to hid their lives.
you have a daughter called Elizabeth, virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
And must she die for this? Oh, let her live, and I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty, slander myself as false to Edward's bed, throw over her the veil of infamy. So she may live unscarred of bleeding slaughter, I will confess she was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong not her birth, she is a royal
To
princess.
save her life, I'll say she is not so.
Her life is safest only in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
Lo, at their births, good stars were opposite.
No, to their lives ill friends were contrary.
All unavoided is the doom of destiny.
True, when avoided, grace makes destiny. My babes were destined to a fairer death if grace had blessed thee with a fairer life.
You speak as if that I had slain my cousins.
Cousins, indeed, and by their uncle cozened of comfort, kingdom, kindred, freedom, life. Whose hand soever lanced their tender hearts, thy head all indirectly gave direction. No doubt the murderous knife was dull and blunt till it was whetted on thy stone-hard heart to revel in the entrails of my lambs. But that still use of grief makes wild grief tame. My tongue should to thine ears not name my boys till that my nails were anchored in thine eyes. And I in such a desperate bay of death like a poor bark of sails and tackling reft rush all to pieces on thy rocky bosom.
Richard, utilities, hell's black intelligence, only reserved their factor to buy souls and send them hither when at hand ensues his piteous and unpitied end.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord. Or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for thee that God, the law, my honour, and her love can make seem pleasing to her tender years?
Infer fair England's peace by this alliance.
Which she shall purchase with still lasting war.
Tell her the king that may command entreats.
That at her hands which the king's king forbids.
Say she shall be a high and mighty queen.
To veil a title as her mother doth.
Say I will love her everlastingly.
But how long shall that title ever last?
Sweetly enforce until her fair life's end.
But how long fairly shall her sweet life last?
As long as heaven and nature lengthens.
As long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Say I, her sovereign, am her subject low.
But she, your subject, loathes such sovereignty.
Be eloquent in my behalf to her.
An honest tale speeds best, being plainly told.
And plainly to her tell my loving tale.
Plain and not honest is too harsh a style.
Your reasons are too shallow and too quick.
Oh no, my reasons are too deep and dead. Too deep and dead, poor infants in their grave.
Harp not on that string, madam, that is past.
Harp on it still shall I, till heartstrings break.
Now by my George, my garter and my crown.
Profaned, dishonoured, and the third usurped.
I swear.
By nothing, for this is no oath. Thy George profaned hath lost his holy honour. Thy garter blemished, pawned his knightly virtue. Thy crown usurped, disgraced his kingly glory. If something thou wouldst swear to be believed, swear then by something that thou hast not wronged.
Now by the word.
'Tis full of thy foul wrong.
My father's death.
Thy life hath it dishonoured.
Then by myself.
Thyself is self-misuse.
Why then by God.
God's wrong is most of all. If thou didst fear to break an oath with God, the unity the king my husband made thou hadst not broken, nor my brothers died. If thou hadst feared to break an oath with him, the imperial metal circling now thy head had graced the tender temples of my child. And both the princes had been breathing here, which now, two tender bedfellows for dust, thy broken faith had made the prey for worms. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
Earth gapes, hell burns, fiends roar. Saints pray to have him suddenly conveyed from hence. cancel his bond of life. Dear God, I pray that I may live and say the dog is dead.
Shall I be tempted of the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt you to do good.
Shall I forget myself to be myself?
Aye, if your self's remembrance wrong yourself.
Yet thou didst kill my children.
But in your daughter's womb I bury them, where, in that nest of spicery, they will breed selves of themselves to your comforture.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
And be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Bear her my true love's kiss,